Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. ATR Podcast. Gio Garcia here. I'm alongside Christian Mosqueda. We're back for another episode, back for more. We're back, Chris. An exciting KO by Virgil Ortiz Jr.
Geo, destruction. Destruction is too short a word, man. Wow. Wow. That's all I got to say from Virgil Ortiz Jr. Geo, amazing, amazing performance. What did you think of the fight?
Yeah, we mentioned last week that this was going to be a test for Virgil Ortiz Jr. He was fighting a guy who was pretty much his whole career at 154, a guy who had fought some of the top names at 154, including Sebastian Fundora, including Jermel Charlo. Uh, in this case, Virgil Ortiz Jr. passed that test with flying colors. We mentioned that, yeah, there was a good chance of Virgil, making a statement in this one, going for the KO. I don't think any of us predicted a second round KO. Very impressive, in my opinion, by Virgil Ortiz Jr.
Yeah, Geo, we said it. We were wrong in that aspect. I said it was going to be a competitive match. And when I say competitive, I usually, you know, predict six and over rounds. Five and under, not competitive at all, Geo. So again, the way he did it was reminiscent of Virgil when he was just tearing through that division at 140. Man, again, do you feel like he's back?
Yeah, I don't feel like he ever left anywhere. I think he, in a way, was stepping up a little bit, obviously in weight classes. I like the names that he's taken on in Madrimov and Serhii Bochuk at 154. Now Lubin, I think now uh, fans will start to demand, the champions, and we posted a poll. Who would the people like to watch Virgil Ortiz Jr. Face next? So we'll get into that poll in a little bit. But yeah, I don't think he ever went anywhere. Obviously, if you look at his record before he moved up to 154, it was immaculate. All wins, all knockouts. Now, if you look at that number now, 24 wins, 22 KOs. Obviously, he didn't get the KO against Madrimov. He didn't get the KO against Israel Madrimov and Serhii Bochuk, as I mentioned. Probably the two best names that he's faced so far. But he gets one here. And yeah, that very, very impressive, very good for him. I know some people were having their doubts, but I think on our end we know Virgil is one of the top dogs at 154. There's a ton of names there. We'll get into all those names. But very impressive. And hey, maybe, just maybe, Team Lubin knew something, Chris, because we mentioned them not taking that fight against Bakram Murtasaliev, who's a champion. They were supposed to get
Yeah.
a crack at a champion, and they turned it down. Maybe they knew something because, hey, their guy got stopped in two against Virgil Ortiz Jr. They secured the bag, but no title for Erickson Lubin, who, man, I think after this, I feel like once you see the destruction of a fighter like this, more often than not, they become a gatekeeper. We'll see if Lubin becomes that at 30 years of age.
You said it, Gio. This was a fight where we were giving Lubin a chance, not to win, but to make it competitive. We've always said on this podcast, even in defeat, you can, still, walk away with a W, with the people's win. That was not the case, Gio. Lubin had two avenues. Go for broke and go for the title. Even if you come up short, you at least can say you went for that title. Or plan B, let's just secure the bag against a name like Virgil Ortiz Jr. And you said it, Gio. Just somebody lasting 5 rounds and under kind of tells you that there was something off. There was something off, whether in camp, whether physically. We know that Lubin's been in some tough fights, but that's very telling. Again, Lubin walks out with the bag. I gotta ask you: is was that the right choice? You think for his legacy down the road, he secures a bag, but is was this the right choice for his legacy, Gio?
I mean, looking at it now, hindsight 2020, I believe so, man. Um, you know, maybe Bertasaliev could have done it in one round, or maybe he would have done it in 2 rounds, or maybe he would have taken his time a little bit. Who knows? But I think, like I said, maybe they knew something. This is probably the biggest bag they were gonna get, the biggest name they were gonna fight, and they went for it. So yeah, I think it was. It was the right choice for Lubin, who you see there on your screens. 27-3 now, 30 years old. He's been stopped twice. He was stopped against Fundora in the ninth. That was a very good round. Um, Fundora actually went down in round 7. And then the other one was to Jermel Charlo. I believe it was that uppercut, if I'm not mistaken. That was in the first round. So that was a pretty much a one punch KO. But he had a good outing against Lubin. He had that fight against Ramos, like I mentioned last time out. I'm not too
Yeah.
convinced about that victory. He was able to beat some veterans like Jason Rosario, Ish Schmidt, Tariel Gaucher. But we'll see where Erickson Lubin goes from here. And, kind of like some of the guys in the comment section, Big Bro's checking in. He says, very good win for Virgil, but I don't like all this talk about Errol Spence. It's his dream fight. No more marinating and give the fans this fight, he says. Virgil dogwalk Lubin, says Iceman. Shout out to Iceman. Virgil's manager also said they need at least 7 zeros or they won't even entertain it. 10 million minimum demands sound like a lot to me. So yeah, Boots. They mentioned Boots now in the comment section. He went into the ring. He doesn't make many appearances, but he was there. They're trying to sell this fight, Chris. What were your thoughts on Boots, Jaron Ennis, being there in the arena 1 and 2, hopping into that ring, and both men telling each other eye to eye that the fight's gonna happen?
You know me, Joe. Usually I'm very apprehensive about somebody jumping in the ring and not letting the winner enjoy his moment and trying to make it about themselves. Usually I'm not about that, but obviously this fight ended in 2 rounds and I didn't get to see a whole lot of action that I expected. So I kind of welcome this. Obviously very entertaining trash talking from both men. Boots Ennis looking extra confident, ultra confident. Virgil, not known for trash talking, was saying he wants to fight as well. He's obviously feeling himself after that huge second round knockout. So I was there for it, Gio. So I'm excited about this fight. Hopefully it comes to fruition. I read also Big Bro's comment. I agree. Anything that's 10 million, I think you're pricing yourself. You can't do that to the fans, Gio. And so again, excitement wise, I'm here for it. I want that fight next. I don't know if it happens. What do you think? Do you think that fight happens? And with this comment, with Virgil's manager saying 10 million, do you think that's going to get in the way of the fight?
I am going to agree with Iceman. Virgil versus Boots not gonna happen next. Yeah, unless Turkey's involved, like Big Bro said.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Maybe they're throwing that number out there, knowing that they probably won't get that much. But yeah, I don't think it happens next. I feel like there's just a lot of people in the way. Whether it's Virgil's manager, I don't think Oscar's holding him back. I'm not sure where Eddie Hearn's his mind is at, but as Big Bro says, they're not household names, but hey, they are two of the biggest names in the division. I feel like they probably are the two biggest names at 154. And I'm sure they can make some money. I don't know if that much, but yeah, I think they'll marinate it a little bit more, unfortunately, because both men, it seems like they're in their prime. I still think both men can improve depending on the opponents that they choose to fight. Last time out, Boots Ennis took a pretty easy fight. It was a quick one as well in his hometown of Philly, and he looked great. But in this case, Virgil fought a much better opponent, looked probably even better, and yeah, I don't think they get into the ring next, and I don't think it's gonna be because of them. I think it's gonna be because of people around them. That's just my opinion, though. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Even though this fight has the makings of an end prime kind of De La Hoya, kind of Tito Trinidad, not as popular to the mainstream fans as those guys, but it gives you the sense that these guys are like reaching their peak, their prime. And I agree with you. I don't think we see this fight next. I don't think business wise they will let it happen right away. I think this is one of those moments where like let's get the boxing fans excited about this kind of fight. Let's make some noise to get them feeling like this fight's going to happen, but it's likely going to happen later. So my question to you, Gio, is: are you excited though? At least are you excited? Because I know that you don't get excited until it's like official. But did that at least excite you?
Hey, it's something. He got into the ring and they spoke to each other. So that's something. At least they made that gentleman's agreement and it's on camera and it was in front of thousands of people. At least we have
Yeah.
that. So, yeah, I think it's better than nothing. But yeah, it's looking a little tough. Now, I also saw shout out to our boy Trevor Sombrano at Brandon Adams trainer. They were calling out Virgil, and Virgil's manager had some words for them as well. But look, at the end of the day, I think we want to see the top guys fight the top guys, and like we said, there's so many names at 154. Xander Zayas just announced a fight. He's fighting in a unification bout. You know, Sebastian Fundora is still out there. Obviously Mortasaliev, obviously Boots and Virgil have to be in that picture. Keith Thurman, I guess he's still in the picture, Chris. He's old, but people are still throwing him in there. So there's a lot of guys who can fight each other. Include Brandon Adams in there. So that's what we want to see. We don't want to see any more tune-ups, any more quote unquote easy fights. You know, these guys got to get it on. And I think this is a good segue into that poll. I personally, wouldn't mind any of those names for Virgil Ortiz Jr. Now, let's see what the people think. The poll asked who should Virgil Ortiz Jr. fight next. The
Yeah.
options: Enes, Sayas, Fundora, Mortazalia. I haven't clicked on the options yet, so I don't know what this looks like.
I haven't even seen this one, so I'm excited to see the percentage, Gio. Who are you voting for?
I'm gonna vote. Honestly, this is a tough one. I don't think he gets Boots, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
eliminate Boots. He's not
I
getting
agree.
Murtazaliev. Come on, nobody wants to fight Murtazaliev at the moment. Let's be realistic. All right. So that's two out of the way. It's between Zayas and Fundora now. I'm gonna go for Zayas. 7% only, Chris.
I
Woo.
was gonna say I don't think people are gonna vote for Zayas because he's got a fight date, but I would have picked Fundora. I think they're both coming into a great moment. Obviously, Fundora champion outright with that green belt over there, and Virgil coming off a huge win. Again, I said in the previous podcast, he's this fight. The next one has to be for a full on belt. Like there's no ands, ifs, or buts, man. He's got to go for a belt. And Fundora is a sexy name there that people will be like, okay, I want to see those two. A weird anomaly in Fundora versus the hard hitting power of Virgil. So I'm gonna go with that one, Gio. But wow,
Yeah.
and this
So
really got people excited. Wow,
you
I'm
guys,
shocked by that number, Gio. Straight up.
you guys can go ahead and vote. I was the 69th vote. It was meant to be.
Wow.
72% Ennis. 72% overwhelming majority. 7% only Zayas. 13% Fundora. 7%
Wow.
Mortazalia. I'm surprised 7% of the people voted for Mortazalia. Honestly, nobody wants to see him right now. He's getting Josh Kelly next, right?
Yeah, on the 31st, I believe.
It's something.
That yeah, that Ennis 71%, 72% shocks me, Gio. Again, uh, let's be real. Ennis is not a household name. He's not a big, huge name in the mainstream. So I get it. It's what have you done for me lately? And that's entertain us in that post fight. I get that, but wow, 72%. That means that fight will sell if it happens, next week, tomorrow, in a month. But again, I agree. I think the powers that be will let it marinate. I gotta ask you, when will this fight be too late? I feel like it's not gonna take the Pacquiao Floyd Mayweather route or the Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. route, but when will this fight be too late?
I think they both got time, man. I think they both got time. I would prefer to maybe see this fight maybe next year. Virgil's
Yeah.
27. If someone could look up Boots' age, I think he's what 28, 29. Boots. So yeah, I think they got time. I don't think we'll get, like you mentioned, Mayweather Pacquiao, where it was maybe 5 years too late. Crawford Spence, where it was at least a few years too late. I think both guys will be at a good age, you can say, when they fight each other. I think next year will be perfect. I think maybe at the end of next year, maybe give another tough fight to Virgil, give a tough fight to Boots, and then after that, continue to build it up. Maybe collect the belt. The chat is going off right now, Chris, because they have a lot of opinions. And yeah, look, this is a hot division right now. So as I said, whoever, as long as they're fighting one of the top dogs, I'm 100% okay with that. But let's go to see what some of the people are saying here. Iceman's on a roll. Nobody's saying Mortazalia if he says. What else? Uh, the reality is boxing with Frank Bay says Murtasaliev. He ain't a name compared to the other names, and it sucks, but it is what it is. Yeah, he's probably the highest risk and the lowest reward. So nobody's saying his name at the moment. It should happen before the end of next year, says Big Bro.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Big Bro's a good matchmaker, man. I gotta find him a job, matchmaking and
You
advising.
you gotta marinate it a little bit for this one. And they're both relatively young. They can still add some millions there to that purse, man. Especially because both men aren't really household names like that as of now. Iceman, neither one has a belt. They're not gonna let it happen. Facts.
Yeah, and that was one of the talking points, right, Gio? You know, all the commentators were saying it. This is a fight to make, even if there's no belt in the way. Who needs a belt? This is the fight. Come on, we know that. You know, you got to attach a belt to it to make it sell to the masses. So, I mean, I get what they're saying, and then they're right. But it's a business, man. It's a business, and I agree. I think you can let this fight marinate a year and a half. Got to be careful not to lose to any big name because that can derail. You know you can have a Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder kind of fight where you derail it a little bit, the value of it. But yeah, man, I'm excited to see this fight when it comes to fruition. It's got so many narratives. It's got so many fan bases that will you know go to the bank with their guy and bet the house on it. So again, this is an exciting fight when it happens, Gio. And I think you touched that a little bit. I got to ask a question: who benefits most from this fight not happening? If you're your man, if you put on your manager hat, if you put on your promoter hat, who do you go say like go and chase that money back? Who do you talk to, Gio?
Who benefits the most from this fight not happening?
Yeah,
That's a tough one. I would say Virgil, because Virgil got more options. He's the bigger name.
that's
I don't think
and it's good.
Virgil needs Ennis as much as Ennis needs Virgil. I have Ennis's resume pulled up right here, 35 and obviously 31 KOs. He's 28 years old, a year older than Virgil, but if you look at those names, they're not good names. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Steniovnes, I can't even say that one. Avenesian, like even at 147, nothing impressive, unless you want to say Lipinets, who's close to retirement already. He doesn't really have any good names on that resume. Let's keep it real. That was a criticism for Virgil, I feel like, for a while, but he's building his resume. Look, you got Lubin now, you got Madrimov, you got Boachuk. At 37, Hooker, maybe you can say, but
yeah.
not a lot there. Mauricio Herrera was a little older. But yeah, I think Ennis needs Virgil more than Virgil needs Ennis. Virgil can make money with other guys. Somebody, who was it? Somebody liked the idea of Sayas versus, um, here it is, boxing with Frank Bay. He says, honestly, the best fight for Ortiz is or versus Sayas, Mexico versus Puerto Rico. That's why I mentioned Zayas, because to me, Zayas is probably the weaker champion at 154. Like we mentioned, Chris, last week, this guy jumped the line twice already. This is going to be his second time. First of all, he got upgraded to champion, and now he's fighting for a unification. He can have two belts, right, with virtually zero names on that resume. But Virgil's able to beat Zayas. Hey, now you potentially have two belts, Mexico versus Puerto Rico, and now you can build up that NS fight a little more. That was my line of thinking. So yeah, I think Virgil can make money fighting a lot of these guys. Errol Spence too. Frank Bay wasn't opposed to that because there's a lot of money on the line there. So where does Ennis go? Without Ortiz, he's not gonna fight Murtazaliev. Is he gonna fight Fundora?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I feel like Boots Ennis, if I had to, play the game of predictor, I predict he goes after somebody like Boachuk or somebody like Madrimov. Two guys that are in the top 15, top 10, but not in the top three. So I think he goes after those kinds of guys, you know, past opponents of Virgil, and maybe tries to beat them worse than what Virgil did to just try to one up them. So I think he takes that route. I don't see him fighting any of the backgrounds or any of those guys that are ultra dangerous. Um, most people would still favor Boots Ennis, but I don't think his management lets him near those guys just yet. So that's my prediction, Gio. You tell me what you think. As for Virgil, I agree. I think Alexander Zayas poses the biggest exposure when you got Puerto Rican fans, when you got the American fans and the Mexican fans all tuning in for that. Again, he can become a full-fledged champion uh, and silence a lot of critics in that respect. But yeah, I'm excited to see what Virgil says. Again, I also think that our boy Brandon benefits from that Boots Ennis and Virgil fight not happening. I feel like maybe Team Ortiz see Brandon as like, okay, that's it's not a very well known name, but he's got some skills, he's got some power. He could give us rounds, which is what they didn't get in this fight. So again, Trevor, this is the time to call Virgil. I would say every week and get that fight. But yeah, man, I'm excited to see what happens at 154. I said in the last podcast, these guys can retire if they fight each other 3 or 4 times. Boom, they're set for life. So I'm excited with this division and what happens with both Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz.
Yeah, and to me the exciting part is that I feel like at 147 there was so much hype around this potential fight, and then that hype kind of died down when a little bit when Ortiz went up to 154, right? So we're like, oh man, we probably won't get it anytime soon. But now Boots is up there at 154, so that is promising. Let's go to some quick comments here. McAllister says y'all should have Big Bro live on the podcast, man. He speaks facts. He's too
He's,
expensive,
he's,
man. We can't afford him.
he's camera shy. He's camera shy, man. He does all his talking behind the scenes, man. He's not a keyboard warrior though. He real. He for real on his takes.
He made a few appearances. If you guys are OGs of the show, OGs, watchers, listeners of the show, yeah, you've seen him before.
Was he working security with Sugar Shane Mosley?
Oh yeah, he was in there. Yep, he was in that one.
You got to go to a time machine to get a glimpse of Big Bro the Ghost Garcia.
It's been a while though. The last time he was on the show was probably like Chocolatito Estrada 2 or something like that. It's been a while.
Man, I'm a drop name Big Bro in one of these small all-star boxing. Like, you guys need a matchmaker, man. Just hit up my boy Big Bro Alexis Garcia. I don't think he's
Hey
gonna
man,
be interested in doing his homework on the up and comers, but
hey, you
hey,
dropping government names is crazy. It's wild. Let me shut this guy up. Let's continue with the comments.
what's good?
Boxing
What's
with
good?
Frank Bay says exactly. Let's be honest. Zayas got a layup for that belt. It is what it is. Top
He
rank
got
isn't
yeah,
letting Zayas fight Virgil, says Big Bro.
and I like Xander, man, but yeah, he's taking the Kevin Durant route, in boxing. But I like Xander. I've always said it. Good kid, nice kid, very skilled, very promising. But man, he is cutting the line dirty. But I
Hey,
mean, as long as he defends that belt, man, that's all. I get some good names. That's all I care about.
hey, we got our boy Ramon Cardenas on the live chat. What's up, Ramon? Checking in. What's up?
Ramon's like, man, I'm trying to trying to send a reporter to go cover you, Ramon. Got to reply to the texts.
Says my boy. What's going on, man? When are you fighting next?
I think he's got a fight day, if I'm not mistaken, right, Ramon?
I don't know if he's still out there. If you are, shout out to Ramon Cardenas checking in.
Yeah, he's got a pro box date already, if I'm not mistaken.
What else we got here?
But
If Virgil
yeah, no,
fights Spence, I don't think he will get any credit, says Iceman.
yeah, there was a lot of Errol Spence name dropping. I don't think it's a surprise. I think a lot of knowledgeable boxing fans, even though we respect Errol Spence, we know he's a little damaged goods. I don't want to say full on damaged goods, but yeah, the confidence is shattered. And after what Crawford did to Canelo, I feel like Errol Spence is just like, just a few levels below, man. So, what do you think, Gio? Do you think Errol Spence is done at the elite level? Or can he still make some fights with some of these big 154 pounders?
Yeah, he looked bad last time out, man. He looked bad. He looked bad, man.
Yeah,
I can't say he's not done until you show me otherwise, man.
yeah. Again, I know I dropped some names like Madrimov and Bowarchuk. I think those are names that will show us what's left of Errol Spence. Again, it was a very hurtful fight against Crawford, so I don't know how much is left in the tank. But yeah, man. Again, Errol Spence, for a very long time, dominant at 147. Hopefully, he can bounce back. Want to see? I want to see him do good, man. Again, 154 division is stacked. It'd be a shame for him not to benefit from that.
Shout out to Clyde checking in. We haven't seen him since the Dodgers won the World Series. Where you been, man?
Clyde's been celebrating for 2 weeks straight, man.
Where you been, mate?
But
Spence
yeah,
Spence was done since the accident, says Clyde. That ended his career. He didn't make the 10
yeah,
count, man. He didn't make the 10 count.
it's tough, man. Again, it was just it's a miracle that he got back to fighting, and I think he beat Dan Garcia after that accident and a few other names, but that alone is a win in itself just to walk away with your life. So much respect to Errol Spence, man, and hopefully he's able to get a few more paydays. I don't think he needs the money, but if it puts his soul at peace with a few more wins, we welcome that.
Hmm.
All right, Gio, I think
Yeah.
this is a good segue into Eubank versus Benn 2, man. Again, that first fight, very popular in the UK, got everybody out there talking. Not a whole lot of noise over here on US soil, but very entertaining affair, very good fight. A lot of narratives with the fathers, boxing royalty up there. What are your thoughts on that Eubank versus Benn 2, Gio?
Hey, man, that first fight was surprisingly, to me at least, very, very good. Back and forth
Yeah,
action. They had to run it back. That fight happened in April of this year. So I'm a little surprised that they're going to do it all over again without taking a fight in between. But hey, they're making money. If they're going to deliver again, I'm not mad at it. This one's going to happen at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in Tottenham, right there, right by London. All right. The first one, Chris Eubank Jr. won pretty much 116 to 112 on all the cards. They're running it back. I think Conor Benn feel like he held his own, going up in weight. Suffered his first loss, 23 and 1, 14 KOs. He's 29 years old. Chris Eubank Jr., a little older, 36. He's 35 and 3, 25 KOs. So maybe trying to cash out, man. He's not getting the Canelo fight, you would think, right? They've been talking about that for the past few years, but hey, he's running it back. I'm sure they're getting paid. We'll get into that poll in a little bit, but yeah, I was surprised that the first fight was that entertaining.
yeah. For me, that first fight, even though we saw the size difference, man, ton of respect for Conor Benn. I think with the adverse tests and all the controversy that came after that, a lot of people lost respect for Conor Benn. And yeah, man, I feel like this one kind of regained people's respect for him. Again, going up against Chris Eubank Jr., a lot on the line with the legacy that their last names hold over in the UK. But Conor Benn, as a smaller guy, man, it looked like he was going up against a bully, man. It looks like it was a little kid in the yard, in the schoolyard, going against the big guy. And yeah, man, I think he gave a great effort, came up short, but got to tip off your hat to him again. Conor Benn trash talks, does it all, entertains outside the ring, and he followed it up inside the ring, and no shame losing to a bigger man. So hopefully he comes in bigger. Hopefully when we see them show up come fight night, they're about the same size, and hopefully Conor Benn has a little bit more success. But right now, I have to favor Chris Eubank Jr. just because of that size difference.
Yeah, same. I think he wins the decision. I'm gonna cast my vote. There it is. Whoa. 46% for Eubank Jr.,
Wow.
54% for Conor Benn. Now there's only 13 votes, so I'm sure that'll change. So go vote, guys. But yeah, I'm surprised by that. I think Eubank takes it again. Maybe people like what they saw from Benn in the first one. Maybe they're looking at Eubank's age, maybe. I don't know, but I think he still has the upper hand being the naturally bigger man. I think it kind of showed in that first fight. He had a little more resistance.
Yeah, and then there was moments where Benn had success, even with being a
Yeah.
smaller guy. He got some good shots in. It's just about can he do it over 12 rounds? Again, I want to see how much weight he puts on. I think obviously it would benefit him, even though he'll lose a little bit of speed, but his punch resistance will be there if he's bigger, and that punch output can trouble Chris Eubank Jr. Again, I agree. I think I want to say Conor Benn will have more in the tank, just to try to even things out for his family name. But again, it's a tall ask against a bigger Eubank Jr. So let's see if he put out the weight. If he took some notes from Crawford and put on some weight, Gio.
Yeah, keep my name out your mouth, says Big Bro. Clyde
trying to
says,
get you a,
yeah, go
trying to
ahead.
get you, we're trying to get you some paper.
And then Clyde says, living the life, the championship life, he says.
Oh, Clyde, I know you were nervous the last two innings, man. I'm a regular fan, not a diehard fan, diehard fan by any means, but I was just being from LA area. I was nervous, and I'm a casual when it comes to baseball. So I know you guys must have been nervous, but hey, congrats, champion, LA. Let's go.
And they were looking like Chavez out there against Mildred Taylor, huh? That's what it was looking like. And last second, boom.
The last second, man. They're taking that win. Like we'll take it.
Shout out to the Dodgers.
Hearts over there in Toronto, man.
All right. So yeah, are
Yeah,
we going with Eubank Jr., Chris? We're finalizing the I'm going decision.
I'm going Eubank Jr. decision, and I wouldn't mind being wrong. I'm a Conor Benn fan after that fight, so hopefully he's able to even things out. But yeah, Chris Eubank Jr. by decision. Let's go.
Yeah, that's what I got too, man. And don't forget, Rafael Espinosa is also fighting this weekend.
Right.
All right.
He's a little bit under the radar.
27-0, 23 KOs. He's 31 years old. He pretty much made a splash by defeating Robesi Ramirez the first time. That was an upset. That was in 2023. He won a majority. If you guys remember, he almost got stopped in that fight. Came back, and he needed that knockdown in the last round to get that majority decision. Then he stopped Robesi in the second one in December of 2024. Got a TKO against Edward Vasquez, and now he's fighting Arnold Kegai. If I'm saying that right, 23-1, 14 KOs, representing the Ukraine. All right, he has a couple notable losses. He lost a split to Joet Gonzalez, and he also lost to Stephen Fulton by decision. So experienced guy, but yeah, I mean, this is going to be tough, man. Espinosa 6'1". This guy's super tall for that division. I always tell the story. I saw him at some fights here in LA, and I walk right past him because I'm like, that looks just like him, but he looks too tall. I couldn't believe he was that tall in person. But yeah, Espinosa definitely a very difficult guy to fight. 23 KOs in those 27 wins, a ton of power. And, this fight is in Mexico, so everything in his favor, Chris. Everything in his favor.
Yeah, I don't know if we're adding this one to the prediction, but obviously we're both going with him. I'm going to say knockout. I don't know too much of the guy, but based off the box rec information you just gave me, I feel like, Espinosa is just on a league on his own. And I feel like Espinosa is kind of like the smaller division Fundora, where, after grabbing that title, true, they just got better, man. They just got better with that title wrapped around them. So, yeah, I'm going to say Espinosa by knockout if we add that to the predictions. And yeah, I don't see anybody anytime soon challenging Espinosa
Yeah.
unless he goes up. Gio.
I was gonna compare him to the Mexican boxer. Oh, I forgot his name, man. He was trained by Nacho Beristain. Very tall.
You're talking about.
Oh
He's been a.
man. Somebody help us out.
Oh,
He was in
you
lower divisions. He was tall.
yeah.
Nacho Beristain's fighter. He had the WBC
You know,
belt.
see, him and Espinosa, Navarrete, those are guys that are like just lanky, long.
Come on, somebody help us out. El Rey Vargas? Is it Rey Vargas?
There you go.
Yeah.
I saw his face and them long
Rey
arms, but
Vargas,
the
yeah.
name was like Rey Vargas. There you go. Yeah, those three men, they probably got the same daddy, man. They got the same genes, man. They got the same lankiness. Yeah, man. Again, anomalies in that lower weight division for Mexican fighters.
Wasn't someone called Connor Benn on the movie The Terminator? Says Iceman. What was their name?
Connor, Ben,
It was Connor, right? It was, I don't know if it was
John Connor. That's funny.
Iceman. All right. But yeah, this fight I think is gonna be on ESPN. Let me see. It should say here ESPN knockout. Those top ranked cards, I don't know, they're gonna be interesting to find nowadays. They don't have that contract with ESPN anymore, but Emiliano Vargas will be on that undercard. Richard Torres Jr. and also Lindolfo Delgado. Excuse me. Should be a good card.
Yeah, nice little names there. Nice, names that we've seen before on the top brain card. Richard, Emiliano, Linolfo. So yeah, hopefully they get a step up in competition, Gio, because I want to see them tested a little bit. But yeah, man, I'm excited for those cards. November's hot, December is heating up, and then the award show at the end. Gio, got to start thinking about some of our nominations
Yeah.
for the end of the year awards. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I know there's talks about the Ofimo and Shakur Stevenson. We'll leave that for another podcast when it becomes closer to fruition, if it becomes officially made. But yeah, that one's something that would excite me as well. Two elite names, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then of course next week we must talk about that Riyadh season card. Benavides Yard headlining. Norman Jr. Haney is on that title fight. Bam Rodriguez is also on that against Martinez. Let me see. I'm try to find it for you guys here. Oh, they also announced that Naoya Nolan against Picasso Nagatani on the undercard. Yeah, it's gonna be some good fights. So, one at a time, one at a time. First, we got this action this weekend, and the next week we got to talk about that Riyadh season card headlined by David Benavides, and then December is looking good. So yeah, a lot of exciting stuff going on right now in the world of boxing. We had some slow weeks, but hey, it's picking back up again.
Yeah, boxing took a knee, took a knee in the seventh and the eighth. After the Canelo fight, but hey, they got back up. I think the standing eight count. Got back up through some punches, and they're gonna finish strong, man. Championship rounds, but yeah, as for me, Gio, just want to thank everybody for tuning in, dropping your comments, making us laugh, dropping some good takes. Shout out to Big Bro, matchmaker extraordinaire. Yeah, man. If you guys watch the repeat, thank you again. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and talk to your friends about our podcast, man. Again, shout out. We're trying to get those numbers up. So yeah, man, appreciate it, man. Gio.
Fan favorite as well. Apparently, they're summoning him on the podcast. But yeah, Iceman says, "Let's go, Norman." Hey, is there anybody rooting for Devin Haney nowadays? After snitching and suing people, anybody out there rooting for Haney?
I think that number is dropping, man. Norman Jr. is dropping interviews all over the place, just being himself. And a lot of people are, responding to him, just being himself. I know they asked him some question about rate Devin Haney's fits. He's like, get out of here with that. Like, I just got my $5 t-shirt and some shoes and some jeans. Man, get out of here with that.
It's a
He's
real
like, that's what's wrong with boxing. So yeah, man, Brian Norman Jr., he's cool guy, man.
Yeah, man. I agree with him. I'm wearing my t-shirt. Look, Chris got the suit on and everything, man. What is this? Fashion week?
Hey, it's Fashion Week, man. It's Devin Haney week. Let's go. Vámonos.
Let me see what it
Devin
says.
Haney don't wear no tie.
Yo, you got to suit up like Christian. I didn't get the heads up this time, man.
For real.
Next time. Next time.
Next time. Next time.
Hey,
Gio, anything else
I can
before we
still
get out of here?
I can still wear my basketball shorts, right? Basketball shorts, button up
Hey,
tie. Y'all would never know.
hey, don't let the tie and the shirt fool you, man. I'm wearing shorts, man. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable under here, man.
He got the
Vámonos.
PJs. He got the PJs on with the pantuflas.
I got the chanclas, bro. Don't let the tie fool. Don't let the tie fool you, man. Puerto Rico chanclas. Let's go.
Bro,
Vámonos.
bro, I smell those shits all the way over here.
Let's go. Let's get out of here, man.
All
Who's
right.
getting that Virgil payday next, man? Who's getting that Virgil payday
Payday,
next?
payday. Let's go,
Let's
man.
go, Trevor. Vámonos.
We'll see you soon. Thanks, mates.
Go.
Peace.
Vámonos.
Saludos al Robert. Classy guy, Robert. Classy guy.
Hola amigos, soy Juan Francisco Gallo Estrada. Quiero mandar un saludo para mis amigos de Contra las Cuerdas. Échenle muchas ganas. Un abrazo, muchas bendiciones.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. You know what mine is? Let's box bitches. It's almost fight night.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you for the support. Keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job. So thank you and best wishes.
Against the Ropes. Huge shout out to Against the Ropes. Against the Ropes.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you guys for the interview, and hope to see you guys soon.
Against the Ropes, always doing the right thing.
Shout out to Against the Ropes, man. I appreciate you guys for having me, taking the time out y'all day.
Against the Ropes, #1.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.